Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for some more of the Dubai Sevens. It is the quarterfinals, and it will be the matchup between the Blitzboks and the Australians. Now, these two sides, they've had to wait a little while to play each other. I believe the last leg of the Sevens in the 2022-23 competition was when we saw it take place, but now they are raring to go. South Africa playing some very good rugby throughout their group stage, remaining undefeated. Whereas Australia, they've had a few defeats. They finished third in their group, but they are looking to improve here. And a big win over the Blitzboks would do just that. Now, for South Africa, they've actually used a bit more of a kicking tactic in their first two contests. They weren't able to do that up against New Zealand. I wonder whether or not they'll try and incorporate it here up against the Australians, though. May leave a little bit of space. And behind, good evening, Hamish. There's Marnus there, and also hi, all and Hamish. Yes, I'm up at 1:55 a.m, says Robert. And there, and of course, we've got 4 quarterfinals that we are going to be covering on the channel, all back to back to back. Now, whoever wins this game will face the winner of Ireland versus Fiji, and then New Zealand versus USA. The winner of that contest will go head to head with the winner of Samoa versus Argentina. But I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're ready for a big day of Sevens action. Who do you think will win? I feel that South Africa should win this game comfortably, but the Australians have shown in the past that they are capable of causing upsets, so I wouldn't be surprised they can have a decent showing. For the South Africans in the starting lineup: Ryan Oosterhuizen, Impie Visa, Zane and Selvin Davids, Schutten van Beek, Gerdald, and also Nokia, who has been doing very well as of late. For the Australians, a pretty stock standard lineup in terms of what we have seen in the past. Nick Malouf leading the side out. He's currently got a black eye. He's got his head strapped up due to injury. He's a tough man, that is for sure, and he is hoping to have a real impact here for the quarter-final. Now, whoever loses this game, I should mention, it does matter in terms of the overall competition, but you will still have another game taking place. Did you get your sleep in this morning? I did not know. I got a little bit of sleep, though, which is ideal. I just actually, fun fact, before this live stream, so if it does start again, I will have to, of course, try and do the commentary while it's happening, but I have just finished having a bleeding nose, which I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it took like 15 minutes to stop it from flowing, so hopefully it behaves itself, but I've managed to sort that out maybe like a minute before this live stream went up, which is also why we were a little bit late. In the starting high, Hamish says, Ryan, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Looks like Dietrich Roach will be getting us underway for this quarterfinal. And good morning, Hamish. Do you feel more refreshed? Not really, no. No, I don't think my sleep really did too much, but we've got another 12 hours or so awake, and then we are going to be sleeping a nice big one. Getting ready to go for the working week. I went to the Bulls vs Sharks match. Hopefully you did enjoy it. It was a relatively decent game for the Bulls overall. I feel like the Sharks never really showed up, though, unfortunately, which was a bit of a shame. And good day, Hamish, up in the morning to you. Says Giovanni, welcome in, but Dietrich Roach kicks it off, and Nick Malouf slaps it back. Josh Turner now for the Australians has got possession. Now we know, no matter how many down the Blitzboks are, if Australia were to strike first, we know South Africa have more than enough capabilities of being able to overtake them and get themselves the comeback win. We saw that last night up against New Zealand. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, but here comes Dietrich Roach trying to find his way through. Ryan Oosterhuizen, the man who makes the tackle there. Australia attacking to this right-hand side. Nathan Lawson, 20 metres out from the line. Gonzalez across to Nick Malouf. Very easy to spot him at the moment. You just look for the man who's got purple on his eye. And that is him. Josh Turner just sacrifices the tackle there. Taken down by Gerdald. No, that's not good, is it? I mean, he's been put upside down. It's going to be a South African scrum. I was extremely worried he was going to get pile-driven there. Josh Turner, he gets a bit of a laugh about it with Gerdald. He's all in good spirits, but that was scary. I thought he was going to get pile-driven. Luckily, Gerdald, though, did not put him down, because or else that could have been a broken neck for Josh Turner. Commentators are just talking about the fact he's been taken above the horizontal, so could have been a penalty, but it is going to be the scrum feed for South Africa. Interesting. We have got there, do you think, or who do you think is more capable of winning this game? I think that South Africa, the fact that they are Dubai Sevens champions multiple times recently, that would help them have the momentum here. But now running forward, Schutten van Beek going with the pass on the outside, out wide to Nokia, who's been a superstar, a young talent in this Blitzboks team. He's left the ball on the inside. Gerdald manages to kick it forward. And Hamish, how come Australia ended 3 in their group and now in the quarters, says Cornelius. It is because they have only got 12 teams in the competition now rather than having the full 16 that they used to. So that is why third place does go through to the quarters. That is the same with the Samoans as well. But the first try being scored by Nokia. They took the quick tap only 5 metres out from the line. South Africa reaping the rewards, managing to get that turnover. Go South Africa, says Ryan in the chat as well. Yeah, like I mentioned, the winner of this game will go on to face the winner of Fiji versus Ireland. I'm very intrigued to see who walks away with the victory on that side of the draw. The other side has has New Zealand versus USA, and then Australia on this side, of course. But another team in their group was Argentina, sitting top of the bunch. They are going head-to-head with Samoa. Tournament tries, Marcus Maneta, the top of the bunch. He is sitting there on 5. Nokia has moved up to 4, so slowly gaining on him. And, of course, the more games that you get to play in, the more chance you have of taking that first place spot. Sullivan Davids kicking off high. Australia waiting for it. It was Nick Maloof, who has done very nicely to be able to clean that ball up. I hope Fight wins that match. Says Orion in there as well. Now going off to the right-hand side. Nice attacking run down the wing. That Fiji wins that match. Says Ryan there, kicked him high. Sullivan Davids, little chip and chase. Not taken cleanly by the Australians. Another chance for Nokia, who is 10 metres out the line. Now Davids goes off to the bigger Davids, being Zane, and he has gone over. Sounds like he might be held up, but they are going to go upstairs just to check whether or not he has got that ball down. Zane Davids, flat attacking run towards the try line. Oh, from that angle, he's put it down on his own arm. You would assume somewhere along the line that ball has touched the chalk. This angle, he's got it down just beforehand. So that will be the second try of the match. Now, for the Blitzboks, they are on fire currently and moving their way more than likely towards that semi-final. Morning, Hamish. Kiwi lads, right, finally got a break from work. Says Ruth Carter there. Dubai Sevens, 2 tries for Zane Davids. Now Goddard, he's been struggling off the kicking tee. Well, the kicking drop kick, I guess you could say. He has got that one over. So that will now make the score 12 points to nil. I should mention the next game that we are covering on the channel. It will be Fiji taking on Ireland. The winner of that game will go on to face the winner of this matchup between South Africa and Australia. But if Australia want to get themselves the victory, they will certainly need to stop this momentum that South Africa have found. Good morning, Kiwi lads. Rock, finally got a break from work, says Ruth in there as well. Now Sullivan Davids to kick this one off high, using every second that he could. It's going to go out on the full and right back to the halfway line. Australia now have got themselves either the opportunity for a quick tap or a scrum, and it does look like they are opting for the scrummaging option. Blitzboks, the King of Dubai, says Giovanni in there. Yeah, they've got a very impressive record in the Dubai Sevens. This time of year as well, with the fact that South Africa is currently sitting about 34 degrees, it means that these conditions aren't really new for this Blitzboks side. As long as they manage their fatigue well, I can see them going far in this competition. That's going to be another penalty for the Australians. Leaving his feet with Zane Davids. Now Australia, another decision to make. Got 100 seconds left in this first half. Plenty of time. Sounds like they are going to be opting for the scrum here. Or are they? What are they deciding? It doesn't seem like they have chosen yet. Looks like a quick tap. South Africa have not made that just disappear, but it was something about not making a semi-final for quite some time, I believe. Blitzboks doing okay at the moment. New coach perhaps, Hamish? I mean, the new coach could have something to do with it. Also, the players returning. Like the fact that they've got Spickman, they've got Sullivan Davids back. It's a shame about Christy Grobbela's injury because I feel like he would have been a massive, massive help for them, but I think he's still going to be all right to continue some of the Sevens circuit, if I'm not wrong. Nice attacking run from Nick Maloof. In fact, it was Nathan Lawson that time. Now Sargent gets it away to Turner. Going on the outside for Dowling. Still half a chance, chipped in behind. It was a risky tactic there from the Australians. The ball is forced, and now it is going to be a 22 dropout for the Blitzboks. And it's very hot in South Africa. Says Ryan, it certainly is. So the conditions aren't really too different from what they are experiencing in Dubai. They are used to the heat. They would have been training in the heat as well leading into this competition, which is why their fitness does seem to be once again on that next level. Now 22 dropout for the South Africans. 30 seconds remaining in the half. It is kicked downfield, slapped back by the Blitzboks, but cleaned up by Australia. Nick Malouf taking contact of Impi Visa. Now Sargent gets it off to the right-hand side. If Australia want a chance, they need a try before the end of this first half. Little bit of a slip there for Davis. Now Sargent across to Nick Malouf. Dietrich Roach, they're at a standing start at the moment for the Australians. Just can't quite get that last pass away. It is going to be the Australians' ball after the knock-on in the breakdown. Or in fact, they're going to take the quick line out here, or are they? Referee says no, you're in front of the mark. Okay, it's a knock-on by Green in the tackle. This is just going to be a scrum, but for a second there, it sounded like they were going to say Shilton van Beek, perhaps yellow card. Ooh. Got the hand to it. What's your prediction, Hamish, for the 7th series? Blitzboks beat New Zealand 2. That's quite amazing, hey? Says Roof. So my original prediction before Dubai got underway was New Zealand-Fiji final, which can actually still happen. And then I said that South Africa would get the bronze, which would mean, theoretically, if I was correct, that Fiji would have to beat South Africa in the next game if both of them made it to the semi-finals. But, I mean, this Blitzboks side has really impressed me in terms of how quickly they have adapted back to their Rugby Sevens, because sometimes for some sides it takes a few weeks. You know, France, perfect example of that. We hope you're good listening to you again, Hamish. Enjoyed your commentary on the World Cup, says Clive. Thank you very much, mate. And we have got plenty more sevens, plenty more international rugby coming up. Oh, that's bad. Gerald has got him high. Change of direction. Hasn't quite worked out. We have good there. Pardon me, I don't quite understand rugby. Who's winning, South Africa or Australia? So currently, South Africa are winning. So they've scored 2 tries. Australia yet to get themselves a try. But yeah, 12 points on the board for South Africa compared to the 0 of Australia. And Kiwi Lad, you're the real Iron Man doing all the commentaries. Well done. Says Frederick. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Has Samoa played? They have not. They have got their game at about 9 p.m. New Zealand time. And that is up against Argentina. We will be covering that game on the channel as well, though. And if they do win that Samoa, they will go on to face the winner of New Zealand versus USA. What are you watching on, says FBG? I'm watching on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. Okay, good old. This sounds like it's at least a yellow card. Yes, it is just a yellow. I thought for a second that they would have been considering red there. But because the player was ducking, it does mean that it is just a yellow card for Gerald, so he will not be on the field for the next 2 minutes. And Australia need to really make the most of this advantage that they now find themselves having. And thank you for the update on South Africa, says David Rain. No worries at all. Miss Kiwi Lads and Rugby Rockers out there. Hopefully Xmas will be more relaxing, says Ruth. And now 2 minutes. Australia, man advantage. Dowling goes across to Maurice Longbottom, who has just made his way onto the field, trying to pierce to this left-hand side. The Blitzboks defence, though, there are no real gaps that are opening up, making it extremely tricky to be able to get through. Now back across, advantage here for the Australians, for South Africa being offside. Dietrich Roach passes out wide to Palmer. Gets ripped apart there in the breakdown by Shilton van Beek, but it wasn't a legal turnover. So once again, the penalty goes the way of Australia. Maurice Longbottom, they've got numbers on the outside here with Dowling if he decides to use them. Cuts on the inside. Now nice pass across to Turner through the middle, and Lawson will score between the sticks to make the score that little bit closer as we head towards half-time. Now, what time Fiji playing, bro? They are playing in 10 minutes' time up against the... they are playing Ireland. We will be covering that one on the channel, of course. So, yeah, 10 minutes' time. And then the winner of this game will face the winner of Fiji Island for the semi-finals. Kangaroos need to bounce back after World Cup. They must find their confidence again, says Ruth. Yeah, nice bit of work from Australia, though. Score themselves that try between the sticks. Thank you, sir. Says Nasal. No worries at all, mate. And we are covering all 4 matches of the quarterfinals as well, I should mention. New Zealand-USA is the 3rd game. And then after that, it is Samoa versus Argentina, which should be a pretty awesome one. But nonetheless, half-time in this contest and only 5 points difference now between these two sides. It's going to be a hard one to predict how the second half will go because, of course, Australia will still have that one-man advantage going into the early stages of the half, whereas later on, that is normally when the Blitzboks are able to cut open defence, and it's normally through those kicks, which we haven't actually seen any of at this point. Selvin David's normally the man who would put it in behind. I think the only one that we've seen that's gone back from the Blitzboks was when the ball was actually lying on the ground in good old. They kick it forward. Can South Africa still keep their lead even if they got 6 men on the field? It is more than possible. I mean, the perfect example of it, I know it's probably not a nice example for the Springboks, or sorry, for the Blitzboks, but Olympics, last time that they took place, Argentina were able to win that game with 5 men on the field. And it was up against South Africa. Or was it the other way around? Maybe South Africa had 5 men on the field and almost won, but Argentina got themselves... No, it was Argentina who played with 5 men. My apologies, because Gaston Ravol, the captain, got himself red carded. There was also a yellow card alongside it, but they were still able to dig deep. Hot sizzling in Dubai like Kiwi lads rocking it big time. Says Roof there, so South Africa versus Fiji soon, says Robert. That does seem like the likely duo. But of course, neither of these two sides can underestimate their opposition. Oh, we look at there, Hamish, do you cover the women's sevens? We do sometimes on the channel. We haven't been covering too much of it as of yet, mainly because I did have to try and get everything prepped for these ones. But yeah, we'll probably end up picking up the women's games, to be honest, probably at the final, just with how quickly the semi-finals for the men's has taken place after this. We've got a little bit of preparation that we need to do in between streams, which makes it very tricky to do all the games. But yeah, we've still got about maybe 8 more games today that we are covering on the channel. A discipline, oops, who's going to make the least mistakes in this tournament, Hamish? It's a good question. At the moment, you probably have to argue Argentina have looked like the most all-round side of the comp. We're covering the United States game, by the way. My last name is pronounced Ryan in there as well rather than Rain, so I do apologise for that. We will be covering USA's game. They are playing New Zealand, and that is going to be at about 8:45, so in about 30 minutes' time when that game has taken place. Maurice Longbottom now. Tackled well by Shilton van Veek on the halfway line, but Australia still in position with the man advantage. And thanks, Hamish, also, mate. Says Daniel Watson now. Dietrich Roach. It's got the passing option out wide. Here goes Palmer to the corner. Now it's going to be kicked dead almost by South Africa. It's actually been taken back. So now it will be the scrum 5 metres out from the line for the Australians. They've actually picked the perfect time to start firing here, Australia, because if they've finished third in their group and they can somehow pull off an upset here. Now, I'm not saying that that will happen. There's still plenty of time left in this contest, but if they somehow were able to do that, that is the perfect example of it's very hard to underestimate any side based off their recent games. Because, you know, look at Samoa. They lost both their games up against New Zealand and South Africa, but they've got a decent chance of being able to win that game up against Argentina, who, like I just said, look like one of the best sides in this competition so far. The other best side you'd have to say is South Africa, but in this game, they've looked good with 7. They've looked like they've struggled a little bit with 6. And what time is the final? It is at about 4:53 a.m. New Zealand time, so I think that is 5:53 South African time in PM. So, yeah, a little bit later on, about maybe 10 hours, or less than 10 hours, about 9 hours time, I think it is. Nice little loop pass from Roach. Lot of pressure coming in from the breakdown from Selvin Davids, and the ball is ripped away by the Blitzboks, who get themselves the penalty. I'm having a peanut butter sandwich. Breakfast, then working 2 hours. I'm in the USA and staying up late to get info on the game. They seem to be the only source for live information. Truly appreciate you. Says David, no worries at all. And that's something that from the start we've always talked about. That's going to be a great kick in behind from Roscoe Spickman. And he will get the try. And I mentioned about how they hadn't gone to that kicking game as of yet for the Blitzboks. And now kicking it in behind, having the pace to be able to chase it. How you watching, bro? I am watching on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand, but it is grubbered from there. James Turner, he thought he had the pace, but all of a sudden, Speckman put on the afterburners as he just knows how to do time after time and scores the try that may separate these two sides enough to secure the Blitzboks a semi-final spot. The kick has missed, though, once again from, I think it was good old who hasn't been able to get it over. So only 10 points difference. Either way, Australia would need to score twice to be able to get themselves the win. And hey, Hamish, hope you're doing great. Says Mikhail, doing very well, thank you, mate. And also thank you, Kiwi Lad, says ETH. And danger for the Blitzboks, says Manus. Although they seem like they've handled that pressure not too badly, only conceding the one try during the time that they were down by a man. See Ronald Brown has made his way onto the field as well for the Blitzboks. Loose ball for Australia. Now James Turner. In fact, it's going to be Josh Turner trying to make the decision of when to do the pass across. Didn't really open up that opportunity. Now Turner saying he's still on his feet. He's done very well to keep on moving forward. The penalty, though, goes the way of the Blitzboks. Munchali was keen to get it going, but does have to go back to the original position. Awesome commentary, Hamish. Thank you for bringing us the rugby. Says Mark, no worries at all. If USA covers plus 10.5 points, I win 170 US dollars. Okay, so they have to be within 11 of the Kiwis then, in that regard. How much did you have to bet to get it to be a 170 back, though, David? How much of a risk have you got there? Chatted to Wildcard. It's also a great character and analyses the game. Excitable too. And also we have got the, I think the Aussies are finding their momentum again. And please, Blitzboks, don't give me a heart attack. Says Monet Lagrange. And also, we have got there from Brandon, who's been a member for 2 months. Hi, Hamish, Brandon Gaming, his most popular channel, says Brandon there. Now, Ronald Brown had the ball available off the back. Another penalty goes the way of South Africa. They've said offside against Maurice Longbottom around the side of the scrum to put his hands on the ball. And it looks like now South Africa are willing to take a little bit more time, kick it into the corner and use up what could be some crucial seconds on the clock. Beating the Kiwi Lads are the channel to listen to. And 50 US dollars, says Dave. Well, hopefully it works out for you, of course. So you're obviously not backing USA to win then in that case if they just have to be losing by less than 11. Now Ronald Brown putting the ball in, nicely slapped back by Ryan Oosterhuizen. Now Brown almost through, finds the offload up to Munchali. Oosterhuizen going to the left and wide cut out past Speckman. The ref has called forward. That was close for the Blitzboks there, dude. You're awesome. Says David Ring, thank you very much, mate. And Hamish, are you wearing a Santa suit this Xmas? That mustache looks awesome. We might go with the Santa suit like last year. It's still in the cupboard somewhere, I think. And also, how are you, Hamish? Says Brandon, I'm doing very well. And Kiwi will win the final, says Satindra. And there's one. Of course, they have got their game up against the USA. The winner of that game between New Zealand and USA faces Samoa or Argentina, the winner of that contest, which is going to be the last of the quarterfinals. Of course, I'd be stoked if they won outright, says David. And that's the thing, they've been in decent form throughout the Sevens competition, so there's every likeliness that they could get there. Right now, James Turner, he will be tackled inside of his in-goal area, and now South Africa have got themselves a scrum 5 metres out. I think that has pretty much sealed the deal for the Blitzboks to make it through to the next stage in the competition. And now they will eagerly be awaiting to find out, will they play Ireland or will they play Fiji? Look at their try coming up for the Blitzboks, maybe, says Manus. And for me, Hamish, about Brandon Gaming is popular than my rugby channel, says Brandon. Now Ronald Brown, put the ball in. See, they've got the Walt Human on the near side of the field. That game will be a moral dilemma for me, says Robert. Now Brown breaking off the back, throws himself at the line and does score the try. That is going to be the 4th of the game for South Africa. Giving away the big high fives there, Ronald Brown. Breaking off the back. Just not quite enough room for the Australians to be able to stop him. It was attempted, but they couldn't drag him down in time. South Africa team playing like the champions. Says Vishal and hey Hamish and hey Brandon. Says Ruth. But now, 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The kick is good. And now chance for South Africa, maybe just to look to close out this 20 seconds. They don't need to risk anything here. They don't need to risk scoring a try. They don't need to risk injury. For them, it's just about getting that ball into touch, finishing off this contest with what is a very successful game for the South African Sevens side. And I should mention straight after this one, we are jumping straight into the next game, which is Fiji in their contest up against Ireland. So be sure to check that one out as well. It has gone the 10 metres. South Africa now trying to slap it back. They won the penalty. Because of it, they will be able to tap this one, boot it into touch, and call it a day. Although their day is not done, they've still got 2 more games that they will have to play in the semi-finals as well as either the final or the third place playoff game. And well done, South Africa, says Johannes, and through to the semis of the Blitzboks in there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be popping over to that next live stream, like I mentioned, between Fiji and Ireland. So we'll see you all in a very short moment.